It's always a pleasure to have Adobe with us tonight. And tonight we have back with us Al Mooney from Adobe, who's going to talk to us about your present and future with Adobe video applications. A very warm welcome for Al Mooney.
Well, anyway, hi guys. For those of you who've not seen me before, my name's Al Mooney. I'm the senior blah, blah, blah. I'm the bloke at Adobe who looks after Premiere Pro, among other things. And it gives me great pleasure to be able to be here for the third Dutch SuperMeet in a row. Is everyone having a good time? Well, let me ruin that for you. So I'm here to share with you what's going on with... I'm supposed to not walk over here, but I'm a terrible walker when I'm demoing. I'm here to share with you what's going on with our Creative Cloud for video products. We've had an extremely exciting... It's only been like a year and a half since we switched over to the Creative Cloud model. We've had like 6 different releases of Premiere Pro bearing features. We're working really hard. We're listening to you guys, and we're doing things that I hope you like. Do you like... Is it okay, what we're doing? You like it? Yeah. It's all down to guys like you, our incredibly talented customers. That's what we do this for. I mean, we do have to make money as well, but primarily, it's the customers that we do it for, and it's the customers we listen to build these products. So we've had an incredible year of huge success. Things like Saturday Night Live. Now, that's big in the US, not so big here, but it's a huge nighttime show. Saturday nighttime show. Who've switched over to Premiere Pro. Our great friend Adam Potofsky, who cut the awesome... Have you guys seen this Levi's advert yet? It's cool. Check it out on YouTube. Adam, who cut that all on Premiere. And, of course, super high-end, creative, beautiful movies. And Sharknado, too. Good laugh. You can stay. But seriously, really beautiful high-end movies like Gone Girl. So we're really excited about this, and you've probably heard us talk about it before. David Fincher has literally just finished. It's out next month, his latest movie, and this is the first AAA Hollywood movie that's been cut exclusively with an Adobe pipeline, purely Premiere Pro, loads of After Effects. It's going to be huge. We couldn't be more excited about Gone Girl, and I'd love you all to go and see it. We're having huge success in broadcast as well. I always put these slides up with these different logos, but this is just a little bit of an idea about how we run the gamut, from Hollywood to broadcast, to videographers and so on. And we're really seeing an amazing uptake in people using these products to get their work done. 2014's been a very quiet year sporting-wise, but the little events we could pick up on, we've been very deeply involved in. So we were tremendously excited to work with HBS, the broadcasting solutions company, for the World Cup. You guys hear about the World Cup? You did pretty good. Better than us. My editing product was used on the World Cup, and yet they refused to re-edit the content to make it look like England won. Bastards. So these are the sort of areas we're seeing our creative tools used. I could talk loads about it, but I've got to get on, and I want to show you a demo. So just a quick idea of where we are with Creative Cloud. I don't want to fob you off with the numbers, but we have now over 2.3 million subscribers. In video, we're growing at an incredible rate. Since we announced Creative Cloud across the products, there are nearly 600 new features and 67 updates bearing features. When we started talking about Creative Cloud, we said one of the primary reasons we were going down this road is we would be able to bring out feature-rich releases and updates to you way more regularly, responding to the needs of very dynamic creative markets like the one we're in, and I'd like to think you've seen that we meant that. What are we focused on right now? Everybody's been talking about 4K today and higher resolution. It's the thing we're all talking about. You should know that we have been doing high resolution for a very long time, since CS4, and one of my engineers will tell me that was wrong, but I think it was CS4. We've been resolution independent, ladies and gentlemen. Throw us what you will, and we will let you work with it. We have native format support we still support SD, in case you just want to use that, all the way up to 8K and beyond. Native format support for camera formats. Anything you can throw at us, we'll play back. One of the new technologies that we've been working on recently to allow you to be creative and work fluidly with 4K media is GPU debayering. So you can now throw some red media at us, some cinema DNG, various other formats like Phantom Cine will use the GPU to debayer or decode them, and you're going to feel fantastic performance. So if you're worrying about or needing to work with 4K, 6K, 8K, and beyond, come to us. We love you. We love you. I'm turning a little bit evangelical here. Amen. No. I should point out the Fincher movie. It was shot in 6K. It was cut with 2.5K proxies with a 6K live feed, 6K available at any point. It had 80% dynamic links to After Effects, and it frickin' worked. Yeah. This is what we're talking about today. I'm going to show you some new stuff in a moment. That's probably what you all care about. We're talking about Premiere Pro being the hub of your creative workflow. So you can start with Story as a script writing tool should you need it. I'm going to show you the new features in Prelude today. Prelude is the ingest, logging, rough cutting application. That simple tool to bring your media in and write metadata to it. Everybody knows that writing metadata is boring. Prelude makes it ever so slightly less boring. So we'll feed that metadata into Premiere Pro, and we'll keep within Premiere Pro. We'll use Premiere as the creative hub. You can do most of the things you need to do in Premiere Pro. So, and I'll show you this. If I need to do some VFX type work, maybe some masking and tracking, who knows? I can do it in Premiere Pro, and when I need to embellish that, if I need to embellish that, I'll come out to After Effects, do more, and I'll come back to Premiere Pro. If I need to work in color, I've got very powerful, rich color tools in Premiere Pro. I can embellish by going out to SpeedGrade via direct link and come back to Premiere. Same with audio and Audition. We're working on making Premiere Pro the place where you can do most of what you need to do. You can stay creative, and you can do it in a way where you know that the power is there and it's going to work, like I said previously. So, I want to show you the new stuff. I couldn't think of anything else to write on that slide. So, without further ado, do you mind if I show you our new pieces of software, ladies and gentlemen? You do? What? Boo. No. All right, so I'm going to start in Prelude. So at the show, we are showing brand new versions of all of the professional video tools. I'll get rid of that piece of tissue there. We're showing brand new versions of all our professional video and audio tools, so brand new Prelude, After Effects, Audition, SpeedGrade, Premiere Pro. Let's start in Prelude. When you look at the new tools, the first thing you'll notice is a revised, refined user interface. We now support high DPI on Mac and Windows, so if you're one of those people who's working with one of those funky Windows laptops with touch screens and high DPI, we're going to look beautiful on that. I'm using a Mac, or what the other guy, I think, called a decrepit old man or something. Something like that. But it's sorry for using a Mac, Mr. HP. Thanks again for the boxer shorts. Right. So Prelude is designed to be... that guy's going to kick my ass later on, seriously. Okay, Prelude. Prelude is our ingesting, logging, and rough cutting tool. It's for those three things and those three things only. It's designed to make bringing the media in, tagging the media, logging the media, and cutting the media as simple and fast as possible. I said adding metadata is boring and prone to error. We want to make it quick and exciting. So I am going to put on my assistant editor's hat. I think I left it in the hotel. Okay, just imagine I'm wearing my assistant editor's hat, and we're going to do a very, very quick bit of logging in Prelude. You can see I already have some media I've ingested. If I hadn't, I could obviously go ahead and ingest it. I'm going to use the almost new tagging panel, and the reason we built the tagging panel is if you're doing something, let's say you're tagging a football match, and you know there's going to be red cards, yellow cards, goals, corners, etc. Having to type those events in manually every time they happen is going to be annoying, and the second I type corner, C-O-R-N-R-E, it becomes useless because I can't search for it and win. If we use the tagging panel, I can just click as I play back, and I know that metadata will be stamped in with the correct spelling and therefore be usable in the production pipeline. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go and just look at some of these violin takes. Just check we've got audio there. Sorry, guys. So let's have a look at this first violin take. I'm just going to grab my playhead, scrub to the start, see if I think, as the assistant editor, that the editor would want to use this particular take. Yep, it's brilliant! So what I'm going to do is just move my playhead to the beginning of that waveform because I'm a nice assistant editor. I'm going to show the editor where he or she is probably going to want to pick up. And I'm going to click on this little circle button up here in my tagging panel. There's loads of new features in the tagging panel. Incidentally, I really don't have time to show you them, so I won't, but there are. And you'll see down here, I've tagged that as a circle, and my comment is good take. I have a marker that's a circle with good take in the comments field. Let's go ahead and listen to violin 2, see if we think that's a good take. Oh, God, no, that's awful. Let's try violin 3. Perfect! So I'll log that one as a circle. I didn't actually last long as an assistant editor. I have no idea why. So I've logged those couple of takes, and I would go through here and I'd add metadata, and I'd be able to rough cut, and there's amazing new rough cutting features in Prelude, much faster. We have transitions and so on, and so on, and so on. But all I'm going to do is just quickly grab these 3 violin takes and send them over to Craft. I'm done. My job is done as an assistant editor. I've written the metadata in. I'll send them over to Premiere Pro, and I'll jump over there. Now, of course, I'm working on one machine. But what we see much, much more is people working, collaborating, working on shared storage. So the assistant editor could mark those clips up, and then I, another person, could pick them up to carry on working. So you'll see those 3 violin takes have just come into my project panel. This is the project I'm currently working on. Now, the point of metadata is that it's supposed to make media more usable, more discoverable. It makes it easier to find and sort by and so on. So the first new feature I want to show you in Premiere Pro is a feature that we call search bins. This is the ability to create a bin. Did someone just clap, or did I imagine? No, I think I'm just imagining it. I'm hallucinating. So did I imagine that as well? It's really weird. These lights are like right, so as far as I know, you've all left. Oh, thank God. All right, so where was I? So I'm going to show you the new feature called search bins. Let's stop it. I bet that was the HP guy. Okay, so search bins. Yeah. Chill out, guys. I'm going to click on the new search bin button, and I've had a chat with the assistant editor. I always joke, you still need to talk to each other no matter how fast we make this stuff. And I want to find the violin circle takes. This is the new search bin dialog. It's simple but powerful. I can decide exactly which metadata fields I want to search for. So if I specifically want to search for something, I can, but I can't be bothered, so I won't. I'm going to search for the word violin, but I only want the circle takes. And I'm going to hit OK. This is going to generate me a new search bin down here. You can tell it's a search bin because of the big magnifying glass. There's 2 items in it, the circle takes. The great thing is, as more media comes in, I import more media, I tag more media, the search bin is live. So if there are more violin circle takes that are given to me over time, that will update. I can double click up here. There's the 2 violin clips in question. I'll open the first one in the source monitor. You will notice there's the exact same comment marker. It's the same color. Prelude obviously allows you to make custom colors. It's hard to read on that screen, but that says circle good take. And I could go ahead and edit that into my sequence. So search bins make it so much easier to organize, find, and make media very usable. That's search bins. I had notes. All right, so let's do something else. So what I'm going to do now is something different. I'm just going to go to the head of my timeline here. Now, I heard from the assistant editor, which was me, which is confusing, that there was there was a logo that needed blurring out. But I've spliced it all into the sequence, and I don't know which one it is. So how do I find it? Well, I'll show you the next new feature. And really, the big focus of this release is around, media management, making it easier to find media in all sorts of different ways. So the next feature is a much improved timeline search. I'm going to hit Command F. That allows me to search in the timeline. You'll notice this is a very similar dialog box to the search bins thing. Once again, I can choose which metadata to search through. But I want to find the clip or clips where my assistant has told me I need to blur a logo out. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to type blur logo because I know the assistant marked it up with those words. I'm going to search across my timeline for blur logo. It's probably in the comment field, but I'm going to leave it as an all search, and I'll go ahead and find that. It's going to find the first clip, searchy search. Let's do that again. It's going to find the first clip that's got that requires the logo to be blurred. Find. Okay, and there it is. So this is the clip with the logo that needs to be blurred. I'll just move my playhead over the top there. All right, so you can clearly see, if I just mute that, you you can clearly see that we're going to have to get rid of that very offensive logo on the guy's hat that says RAD. Unacceptable. So how do I do that? Well, I talked earlier about making sure, we want to make sure that you can do most things in Premiere Pro and use our other sort of satellite applications to embellish. So what you may not know is in the last release of Premiere Pro, we introduced full masking and tracking capabilities into the editor. We heard a great deal from our editors that you regularly need to blur a face. Good job, I gave you an example there of a face, or a license plate, or a logo, that kind of thing. So we added full masking and tracking capabilities in Premiere Pro. We used the technology from After Effects, but we put it in the application in a way which we believe is nice and intuitive for you as editors. So that feature is significantly improved in the next release, which we're showing here at IBC, and I'll show you how. So I'm just going to jump to my Effects tab. I'm going to grab a mosaic effect, because that's the kind of thing we use to mask. And I'm going to drag that onto the clip. Now, while I have successfully blurred the logo out there, it's probably not quite what I want. So the next thing I'll do is add a simple mask. So we're going to go to the Effect Controls tab. I'm actually just going to increase the number of blocks. So I have a little bit more definition in my blocks there. And I'm going to switch that little thing off just so I can see the mask. So underneath every effect are three very simple controls. In the shipping version, you only get the ellipse and the square. In the next version that's coming very soon, you'll get the tool I'm about to show you. This is the Free Draw Pen tool, Free Draw Bezier tool. That allows me to draw a mark with Bezier points very easily around that logo. So I'm going to pick it up. I'll go full screen, and I'll just start drawing. I can make any point I like a Bezier point. And nice and accurately just draw, I say accurately when I'm trembling slightly, but you get the idea. Nice and accurately draw that mask. So significant improvements to masking and tracking include free draw and also much more control on screen, which I'll show you in a moment. So I've drawn over what I want to track. Really easy and intuitive. I'll turn the mosaic back on, and I'm going to hit this track forward, or whatever we call that, track selected mask forward button, and it's going to do exactly what you'd want it to. And what's really nice about this is it understands scale and rotation and skew and so on and so forth, and it's doing a pretty damn good job. Now, make no mistake, this is the After Effects tracker, but it's presented in a way which we think is much easier for an editor in the editorial mindset to use and discover. If you need to embellish it, if you need to do things you can't do in Premiere Pro right now, like variable width feathering, for example, you can send this over to After Effects, and everything you've done passes through perfectly. That's what we mean about having integration between the apps. So I can go ahead and use these controls here to expand the mask slightly, change the position, change the feathering, and within just a few short moments, I've really applied a nice mask. So that is masking and tracking, new and improved in the next version. All right. Now, I just want you to watch the end of the sequence. Something was troubling me earlier on, and it just feels like there's something missing at the end of this sequence. So let me just play this back and see what you think. Oh, let's turn the audio back on, shall we? Just the last couple of seconds.
Nation goes and my creativity goes. To me, when I say play, I mean to play pretend, to make believe, to be a visionary, to be who you want to be.
So that's cool, it's really stylish, obviously a cool guy. But what I think we all are thinking in this room is what's really missing there is goats. And I promised Dan there would be goats, and there will be goats, ladies and gentlemen. Is that Dan? Yeah. That's all for you, buddy. All right, so why am I talking this nonsense? Well, a really big feature that we've worked on for this release are significantly improved features for dealing with multiple projects. We know that many editors work across shared storage regularly and need access to elements from each other's projects easily. And closing down your project and opening another one and finding the bits and putting them somewhere and closing that and then opening the other one is tiresome and cumbersome and irritating. So we've dramatically improved the way Premiere Pro handles working across multiple projects, and I'd like to show you how. So let's mute that out again. Wrong button. Let's mute that out again. I'm just going to put my playhead at the end of the sequence there, so I'm ready to do what I may or may not be about to do. I'm going to go up to my media browser. Now, you probably use the media browser if you're a Premiere Pro user or our other tools. The media browser is a great way to look through your tapeless media assets, find footage, and bring it in. But what you might not know is it's also very powerful at browsing Premiere Pro projects themselves. So I've been working on another, I haven't really, let's just pretend for the demo, but imagine I've been working on another project or another editor has, and I want to look at the elements from that project. So I'm going to browse to a different project in the media browser. This is the Discovery project, and I'm going to open it up. And what I'm seeing here now, once it's loaded, is a completely different project in the media browser in a read-only state. So I can see the root of the project. I can hover scrub around the media. I can find clips I want to use. So, you know, if I wanted to use this clip, I could pick it up, drag it into my project, and import it. The really nice thing is I can also have multiple media browser tabs now. So I could make, I'm not going to do this, but I could make another media browser panel and have a different project open in a read-only state in that. So you can see, I have much easier access to the different elements of other projects. It gets better, ladies and gentlemen. So there is a sequence, snappily titled MCESSG/SG. So what if I wanted to grab elements from that sequence? Well, there would be no way to do that today, right? But here's a cool new feature. This is a sequence, just to be very clear, in a different project. I can see the project and its media, but it is not the project I'm working on right now. I'm going to double-click that sequence, and the first thing that's going to do is load that sequence into my source monitor. So now I have the Discovery sequence in my source monitor. You may have noticed, the eagle-eyed among you may have noticed, it also opened it in my timeline panel. It's opened that sequence from a different project in my timeline panel in a read-only state. So I can scrub around this sequence, and I can see the elements, and crucially, select the elements. I can't edit this sequence. That would be bad, especially if it was somebody else's, but I can see it, and I can work with it. So what I can do is scrub around this sequence, and there, oh yeah. I mean, if anyone doesn't agree that that's what that sequence needs to finish it off, I don't know, you guys should not be editors, frankly. There's the goats. Let's just zoom in on those goat clips. There they are. You can see them there. I'm going to pull this sequence, this read-only sequence down. Let's just push this up so we've got a little bit more space. Hello, a little bit more space to work with. Push it down. So I've got one sequence down here in a read-only state, and I've got the sequence I'm working with. I want these goats. I've never said that in a demo before. I want these goats, damn it. I'm going to pick them up and drag them up to my current sequence, thereby importing the clips, thereby grabbing elements from a sequence in another project and bringing it into my current one. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a serious multi-project workflow. And let's bask in the glory of what we've all just done.
Play pretend, you know, to make believe, to be a visionary, to be who you want to be.
All right, one more quick thing. Thank you for humoring me. I wasn't sure how well that would go. One more thing. I talked to you about Premiere Pro being resolution independent. We've been working with 4K, 6K, and for a very, very long time, and we're a great choice for anybody who wants to work with very high resolution formats. The truth is, though, if you work with a load of raw 6K material, you're going to need a beefy machine. I wish that wasn't true, but it is. 4K is hard. 6K is harder. And we find that a lot of our users are working with those formats and mixing them with many other formats. And when you've finished a project and you need to archive it, you need to put it somewhere to keep and maybe come back to, you probably don't want to keep all of those raw assets because, let's face it, most of us don't have petabytes of storage in our bedrooms. I don't know what, there's two people just laugh. Some people don't. I've got 20. All right. So wouldn't it be nice if we could take a sequence like this, which is full of different media formats, and transcode everything into a single known intermediate format so that I could archive my project, or maybe so that I could send my project down for a grade, send it to a Baselite or a Resolve or something like that. So I talked about media management. This is media management at the end of a process, ladies and gentlemen. The new feature is very snappily titled Consolidate and Transcode, because it consolidates and transcodes. Thanks. So I'm going to go to my project manager. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say, look, I want you to consolidate everything to a single known format. I'm willing to throw away the stuff I haven't edited. I can keep handles, of course. Transcode it into something. Most people are going to want to choose a known intermediate format, maybe ProRes if you're on a Mac, maybe DNxHD, but of course right now DNxHD only goes up to 1080p, so it would be a shame to throw away all that stuff. So something we're really excited about is Premiere Pro now offers full encode and decode support for the GoPro Cineform codec, a fantastic choice for an intermediate. It goes to 4K, 6K and beyond. Cross-platform, I said, contains alpha, so I can easily just pick that codec up and transcode my whole project to that. Now, if I did that, we'd watch a progress bar for 25 minutes, so I won't. But I do want to finish up by showing you a great example of that at work. We've been working with our friend, and the HP guys talked about this as well, our friend Devin Supertramp, who does ridiculously insane things. He created this project all shot natively on a Red Dragon at 6K. There's a couple of GoPro shots up res, but not at the point I'm going to show you. It was all R3D 6K, and I'll be honest, I love my computer, but if I tried to play you back this end of this sequence in Red 6K, it wouldn't work very well. We consolidated and transcoded it to Cineform, still 6K, still all of that beautiful resolution, and I just want to play you the end of this beautiful, insane 6K sequence. 6K, boys and girls, from a laptop in Cineform. So we're very, very excited about that. There are loads of other features in Premiere Pro I don't have time to tell you. Fantastic new features in SpeedGrade, like curves. You've been asking us for curves for ages, hover preview, and so on. If you are going to the show, stop by the stand. If you're not, keep your eye on the web for all the new news. We're really excited. We hope you are too. Thank you very much for listening, guys and girls. Thank you.